7 signs she wants you to make a move on her now. She's leaning in closer than necessary. Her laugh lingers just a second too long, and she keeps finding reasons to touch your arm during conversation. You're standing there wondering if these are actual signals or if you're reading too much into friendly behaviour. Meanwhile, she's waiting for you to do something, anything, and with each passing moment of your hesitation, that window of opportunity is slowly closing. Real talk from brutal relationship. We've analysed thousands of dating interactions, and the number one regret men share isn't making a move and getting rejected. It's realising weeks or months later that she was practically broadcasting her interest, and they completely missed it. The truth is, women rarely make the first move directly. It's not about playing games or being difficult. There's actual psychology behind this. Women communicate interest through a complex system of signals that most guys either don't recognise or second-guess into oblivion. She's already putting herself out there, just in a language you might not be fluent in yet. Pay attention right now because I'm about to decode 7 unmistakable signs that she wants you to make a move. Not next week, not when you feel more confident, right now. And if you're seeing 3 or more of these signs simultaneously, you're not just getting green lights, you're getting a flashing neon sign that says your move. Sign number 1, she creates isolation opportunities. Most guys think a woman who's interested will stick around you in group settings. That's partially true, but there's something way more revealing happening. Notice what she does when you're with friends. Does she suggest grabbing another drink when yours is still half full? Does she volunteer to help you grab something from your car? Does she mention needing fresh air right after you do? Picture this scenario. You're at a party with 6 friends, everyone's engaged in conversation, but she keeps glancing toward the kitchen, the balcony, or that quieter corner. Then she says something like, "I'm going to check out the view from upstairs. Wanna come?" If you think that's just casual friendliness, you're missing the entire point. Women understand something crucial about intimacy and attraction. Real connection happens in moments of isolation, not in crowded rooms where everyone's competing for attention. When she's creating opportunities to be alone with you, she's building the perfect environment for escalation. She's removing the audience, lowering the pressure, and giving you the stage to make your move. Watch for the excuses she manufactures. "Can you help me find my friend's bathroom?" when she's been to this house before. "Walk me to my car?" when it's parked 30 feet away. "Do you want to see this funny video on my phone?" while pulling you away from the group. These aren't random requests. They're strategic invitations. Now contrast this with disinterest. When a woman isn't attracted, she does the opposite. She keeps other people around as buffers. She stays rooted in group conversations. She doesn't create reasons to separate you from everyone else. She definitely doesn't suggest leaving a social setting together or finding a quieter space. What's your move when this happens? Recognize the opportunity and take it. When she suggests isolating, don't overthink it. Go with her. Once you're alone, don't immediately return to the group. Extend that private moment. This is your chance to shift from friendly banter to genuine connection. The isolation she's creating isn't just physical, it's emotional space for something to happen between you. Sign number 2, the proximity test. Personal space is sacred. We maintain specific distances from people based on our relationship with them. Strangers get about 4 feet. Acquaintances get 2 to 3 feet. Friends might get 18 inches. But someone you're attracted to, that invisible boundary starts dissolving. She's sitting next to you on a couch with 5 empty seats available. Her knee keeps bumping yours under the table. When you're standing and talking, she's close enough that you can smell her perfume. This isn't accidental. Human beings are incredibly aware of their spatial boundaries, and women especially are conscious of who they allow into their intimate space. Check this out. There's a phenomenon psychologists call available space violation. In simple terms, when someone consistently chooses to be physically closer to you than necessary, given the available space, they're communicating comfort and desire. She could stand 3 feet away and still have a conversation, but she's choosing 6 inches. That choice is everything. But wait, there's another layer to this. It's not just about being close, It's about staying close when given an exit. If someone accidentally bumps into you, they immediately create distance and apologize. But when she's close and makes contact, does she pull away or does she stay there? Does she adjust to maintain that proximity? I've watched this play out hundreds of times. A woman interested in a guy will find reasons to enter his personal space. She'll lean in to hear him better, even though the music isn't that loud. She'll position herself so their shoulders touch while looking at something together. She'll sit close enough that their thighs are touching, and she'll maintain this closeness throughout the interaction. The disinterested woman does something completely different. She maintains clear physical boundaries. She angles her body away slightly. If accidental contact happens, she creates distance. Her spatial awareness kicks into protection mode rather than invitation mode. What should you do? First, don't retreat when she enters your space. Too many guys unconsciously back up because they're not used to someone being that close. Hold your ground. Second, reciprocate with your own proximity. If she's comfortable being close to you, show that you're comfortable being close to her. Third, introduce light, intentional touch. If she's already in your intimate space, she's given you permission to respond physically. Sign number 3. Touch escalation patterns. Touch is the universal language of attraction, but not all touch communicates the same message. There's friendly touch, and then there's the kind of touch that's testing your reaction and inviting escalation. She touches your arm when she laughs. She brushes lint off your shirt that you can't even see. She playfully pushes you when you tease her. She finds your hand when she's emphasizing a point in conversation. Every single one of these moments is a question. How do you respond when I touch you? What makes this fascinating is the progression. First touches are usually brief and casual, a quick tap on the arm, a momentary hand on your shoulder. But watch what happens next. If you respond positively, if you don't flinch away or act awkward, those touches start lasting longer. They move to more intimate locations. Arm becomes forearm becomes hand, shoulder becomes chest becomes face. Consider the intention behind placement. Touching your hand or forearm is intimate. There's no functional reason for her to do this during conversation. She's not guiding you through a crowd or getting your attention from across the room. She's touching you because she wants physical contact with you. The hand especially is significant because it's personal, it's sensitive, and it's reciprocal. When someone touches your hand, you're both feeling the same sensation simultaneously. Then there's the repair touch. This one's subtle but powerful. You're talking, she touches your arm, you keep talking, and she leaves her hand there for 3, 4, 5 seconds. Or she touches you, pulls away, then finds another reason to touch you again within 30 seconds. She's not just making contact, she's establishing a pattern of physical connection. Compare this to platonic interaction. Friends might touch occasionally, but it's functional or extremely brief. There's no lingering, there's no escalation, there's no testing of boundaries, and there's definitely no repeated touching in the same conversation. So what's your response strategy? Mirror her touch. When she touches your arm, touch hers. When she playfully pushes you, playfully pull her back. Show her that physical contact with you isn't just accepted, but reciprocated. This creates a feedback loop where both of you become more comfortable with escalating physical intimacy. Sign number 4. The attention monopoly. You're at a social gathering, and her eyes keep finding you. Not just when you're talking to her, but when you're across the room, when you're in conversation with someone else, when you think nobody's watching. She's tracking your movement, your interactions, your presence. This goes deeper than just looking at you occasionally. She's prioritizing you above other social options. There's an attractive guy trying to talk to her, but she keeps the conversation brief and returns her focus to you. Her friends are calling her over, but she's finding excuses to stay in your orbit. She remembers specific details from conversations you had weeks ago. The psychology of attention is simple. We give our attention to what we value. In a world of infinite distractions and social options, sustained attention is one of the most honest indicators of interest. She can control her words and even her actions to some degree, but prolonged, consistent attention, that's much harder to fake. Notice the quality of her attention when you're speaking. Is she actually listening or just waiting for her turn to talk? When you tell a story, does she ask follow-up questions that show she's processing what you're saying? Does she remember details about your life, your interests, your opinions? This level of attentiveness doesn't happen by accident. There's also social prioritization. In mixed company, who does she address first? Who does she make eye contact with when something funny happens? Whose opinion does she seek when making a decision? If you're consistently the answer to these questions, she's not just interested, she's invested. The disinterested woman spreads her attention evenly or directs it elsewhere. She's polite to you but equally engaged with everyone. She doesn't track your movements or remember your details. Her attention feels transactional rather than invested. Your tactical approach? Reward her attention by giving yours. When she's speaking, eliminate distractions. Put your phone away. Make real eye contact. Show her that her investment in you is reciprocated. Then, strategically, create small moments where you give your attention to others. This isn't game playing. It's demonstrating that you're socially valuable and that her prioritization of you is a choice you're actively making as well. Sign number 5, she gives you. Logistics. This sign is incredibly practical and often overlooked. She mentions when she's free. She tells you where she'll be this weekend. She talks about her schedule in a way that feels like she's painting a map for you to find her. I'm usually at the coffee shop on 4th Street on Saturday mornings. My roommate's gone next week. I have nothing planned for Thursday evening. These statements might sound like casual conversation, but they're actually invitations disguised as information. She's removing obstacles and highlighting opportunities. Why do women communicate this way? Direct invitation feels high risk. If she says, "Do you want to hang out Saturday?" and you decline, that's a clear rejection she has to process. But if she mentions she's free Saturday and you don't pursue it, she can tell herself you didn't catch the hint. It's emotional protection wrapped in plausible deniability. The logistics go beyond just time availability. She mentions she loves sushi. She talks about wanting to try that new bar downtown. She complains about never having seen a particular movie everyone's talking about. Each of these is a potential plan handed to you on a silver platter. Watch for the repetition too. If she mentions being free or wanting to do something once, it might be innocent. But if she brings up her availability or interest multiple times, especially after you didn't act on the first hint, she's essentially highlighting the invitation in bold letters. Contrast this with disinterest. A woman who isn't interested keeps her schedule vague. She doesn't volunteer information about her availability. When you suggest plans, she's always busy with unclear details about what she's doing. What's the play? When she gives you logistics, use them immediately. You're free Saturday? Perfect. Let's grab coffee at that place on 4th. Don't wait. Don't overthink. She's handed you the roadmap. Follow it. The worst thing you can do is ignore these invitations repeatedly, because eventually she'll assume you're not interested and stop offering them. Sign number 6, preening and presentation. She adjusts her hair when she sees you. She checks her reflection in nearby surfaces when you're around. She applies lip gloss mid-conversation. She straightens her clothes or jewellery. These small grooming behaviours are unconscious reactions to being around someone she wants to attract. Preening is a biological signal that exists across species. When an animal wants to attract a mate, they display their best features. Humans do this too, just in more subtle ways. A woman who's attracted to you becomes hyper-aware of how she's presenting herself in your presence. But there's more happening than just grooming. Notice her posture when you're talking. Does she stand or sit up straighter? Does she angle her body fully toward you rather than keeping a partial angle? Is she displaying open body language with her arms uncrossed and her stance relaxed? The hair touch is particularly significant. Running fingers through hair, playing with strands, or repeatedly tucking hair behind her ear serves two purposes. It draws attention to her face and neck, areas associated with femininity and vulnerability. And it's a self-soothing behaviour that happens when she's slightly nervous in a good way, nervous because she cares about how you perceive her. Then there's the mirror check. She doesn't do this, obviously, but if there's a reflective surface nearby, her eyes dart to it when you're in conversation. She's monitoring her appearance in real time, wanting to ensure she looks her best for you. Compare this to disinterest. When attraction isn't there, these grooming behaviours drop significantly. She doesn't adjust her appearance around you more than she would around anyone else. Her posture is more casual, less intentionally presented. She's not monitoring how she looks because she's not invested in attracting you. Your move: compliment her presentation, but make it specific and genuine. Don't just say you look nice. Say that colour looks amazing on you, or I noticed you changed your hair, it looks great. This validates her effort and shows you're paying attention to details. It also gives her permission to continue investing in her appearance around you. Sign number 7. Vulnerability windows. This is the most powerful sign and the one most guys completely miss. She shares something personal, not surface-level small talk, but real information about her fears, her past, her dreams, her insecurities. She's opening emotional doors and seeing if you'll walk through them. Vulnerability is risk. When someone shares something genuinely personal, they're making themselves emotionally available and hoping you'll handle that openness with care. Women don't do this casually, especially early in interactions. If she's revealing deeper parts of herself to you, she's testing whether you're capable of intimacy beyond the physical. Listen for the shift in conversation depth. You start with surface topics like work or weekend plans, but then she mentions something meaningful, a difficult relationship with her family, anxiety about her career direction, a personal goal she hasn't achieved yet. These moments are invitations into her inner world. The vulnerability window also appears in how she responds to yours. If you share something personal and she matches that depth rather than deflecting or minimizing, she's signaling that she wants emotional connection. She's showing you that deeper conversation is welcome, even desired. There's a specific moment this becomes unmistakable. She shares something, watches your reaction carefully, and if you respond with empathy and genuine interest, she opens up more. This progressive disclosure, this deepening of personal information, only happens when someone feels safe and attracted. She's essentially saying, I want you to know the real me, not just the social version. The disinterested woman keeps conversations safely on the surface. She deflects personal questions. She doesn't volunteer deeper information. And if you share something vulnerable, she acknowledges it politely, but doesn't reciprocate with her own depth. What should you do when she opens these windows? First, honor the vulnerability. Don't make jokes or minimize what she's shared. Show her that her openness is respected. Second, reciprocate with your own vulnerability. Match her depth. This creates emotional intimacy that makes physical escalation feel natural rather than forced. Third, use these moments to transition from friendly interaction to genuine connection. When someone's being real with you, that's your opportunity to be real back and to move the relationship into more intimate territory. There's one final element that ties all of these signs together: timing. These signals don't last forever. Women send them, wait for your response, and if nothing happens, they eventually stop. Attraction has a window and hesitation can close it. If you're seeing multiple signs from this list happening simultaneously and repeatedly, she's not being subtle. She's being as clear as she can without literally saying the words, I want you to kiss me. Your job isn't to wait for absolute certainty or the perfect moment. Your job is to recognize what's already happening and have the courage to act on it. The men who succeed with women aren't the most attractive or the most confident. They're the ones who can read signals and respond to them. They see the invitation, they understand what it means, and they make a move. Not aggressively, not desperately, but decisively. She's already done her part. She's created opportunities, shown interest, made herself available, and given you every reasonable signal that your interest would be welcomed. Now it's your turn. The next time you see 3 or more of these signs, stop overthinking it. Stop waiting for more proof. Stop talking yourself out of what's already obvious. Make your move, because that window of opportunity, it won't stay open forever.